I'm frozen right where I'm at. Untouched wall. Big spider, the huge gap of wilderness. Welcome to the top of the world. Booby traps. There is another snake, third one that's over there. I need to figure out how to get out of here. As usual, we're down here in the mess by ourselves. Good morning and welcome back for another adventure in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Today we're in between Linville and Blowing Rock on the backside of Grandfather Mountain, kind of underneath where the Linn Cove Viaduct is right there. I got a cool creek system right here. I'm gonna try to make it up to this area, see if we can find a couple cool waterfalls, a spot to sit down and relax, have a little meditation session out here in the woods. Fall is in the air, leaves are on the ground. It's a beautiful day. Here we go. My first task for today is to get up this kind of steep, slippery, slopey little waterfall area right here. As you can see, everything's covered in leaves and it's very wet. We're gonna try to make it up here into the bushes. Hopefully there's a little path for us up there. Another seemingly untouched wall out here in the wilderness. Years ago when I lived up here, before smartphones and things like that, I bought a topo map and I actually would come out here into the woods and I would look for untouched rocks and boulders to climb on, and then I would mark them on my topo map. I'm not sure there's a better spot in the entire world than the Blowing Rock, Boone, Linville triangle out here. The amount of rocks, public access land that you can get to out here is just amazing. Hopefully you're enjoying the journey. If this video brings value to your life, please subscribe for weekly adventures, like the video, and comment below. I'd love to hear from people. Get out there and explore. That was a big spider that was trying to crawl in my ear. That's not good. I'm frozen right where I'm at the moment. I'm not sure if you can see it. There's a little green leaf right there, and next to it is a snake. It's not a very big snake, but it's definitely on alert. Buddy, I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm just trying to find a way around right here, and just to make sure that you and I stay in our spaces. You know, it's that time of year where it's getting cold. They're always trying to find a spot where there's sun. Not a lot of sun out these days, especially up here in the rocks, but man, glad I didn't step on that thing. Hopefully it's understanding that I am not a threat. It is moving on to wherever it was headed or wherever it's going. And I was actually gonna go up this rock right here, and you can totally see that there is another snake that's moving right there in those leaves. I just saw two of them basically in the same area. The thing that's really tricky right now, and it's part of their camouflage, is that they are basically the same color as all the leaves that are on the ground. Yeah, I see a third one that's over there. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but it's right over there. Its little head is darting around in the leaves. All right, well, clearly I'm standing in the middle of their house at the moment, and that is 100% not where I want to be. So I need to figure out how to get out of here. My heart's beating a little bit. Like I said, not afraid of snakes, very respectful though. Oh God. Wow, man, this has been a treacherous little stretch of creek right here. I almost just fell into a hole right there. Not great. Never a dull moment out here. You gotta be real careful when you're out here in the woods. Here's a cool spot, nice giant rock face. It hasn't rained in a long time, so the water isn't flowing very high. But I bet when it's raining a lot in the spring and summertime, I bet this thing is a really spectacular waterfall. I'm in this hole. This is where things out here sometimes get silly when you're trying to film stuff. I put the camera down so I could film myself going up this little ravine. I went up the ravine, I dropped my backpack off. I had to go back down this little ravine to get the camera. And now I'm trying to get up this super wet, kind of closed in, rocky area to try to get back up there to my backpack to continue up the creek. Good times. What a marvel this thing is. They just built this viaduct across this huge gap of wilderness, one side to the other. I'm not sure exactly when it opened, but it's a pretty fantastic spot. I can actually hear and see some people up on top of that hill. As usual, we're down here in the mess by ourselves, which is exactly where I want to be. It's funny, this almost looks like one of those like medieval booby traps. It's covered in limbs and spikes and all sorts of stuff. I'm not actually sure that you can go under this thing. So now I gotta try to figure out a way to get around this thing. There's always some sort of ridiculousness going on. So this area is a lot more accessible, as you can see. Graffiti on the rocks everywhere. Giant boulder. There's the viaduct above us. Here is one of the footbridges for the Tanawha trail that comes over this creek. I'm not actually sure that we can get too much further. I'm gonna walk up here and see. It looks like there might be a path up in here. Looks like it opens up a little bit. We're gonna give it a go. Oh, nice. Cool little area right here. This has been a crazy little adventure so far. I keep hoping we'll get back to an area where it's kind of quiet. You know, Tanawha Trail is a beautiful trail. It's just very, very busy. Obviously the viaduct is busy. You can hear all those people about to come through. That's fine, it's a beautiful day. But I am headed this way. We're actually up here behind the viaduct. It's a vantage point that you really don't see very much. We're looking down at the viaduct to all the cars going by. I'm sorry I hadn't been able to film a whole lot of this. This is not a really open area. There's also a lot of spots where I really don't want to be going up, coming back, having to go up, and then eventually come back again. So you're getting some first person today. Hopefully you can tell how crazy it is in here. So I'm kind of pinched in here. The creek goes that way, but I'm not even sure I can get through there. Gee whiz. All right, we're gonna go this way. Well, let's see what's behind the rock face. There's a giant boulder that I can see through the trees. I'm gonna get up here and see if there's any way that we can access the top of this thing. I'm not sure if we can, but if we can't, this is gonna be our meditation spot for today regardless. Looks like a cool spot to sit underneath it. Let's check this thing out. Wow. That is so cool. Man, this thing is giant. See a little path. hopefully up and around this thing. Maybe we can get a nice little view up here. Finally made it to the top of those rocks. I'm gonna go up here to the top of this hill. Let's see what this thing looks like. That was quite a journey. But what a moment. When you finally get to the top. This place never ceases to amaze me. Welcome to the top of the world. What a crazy day. What a crazy adventure to get up here on top of this mountain. That took almost 3 hours for me to get to this spot. I got a long ways to get back to the car, but it was always worth it. This is where we're gonna sit down and do our meditation for today. What an incredible view out here. I got a nice rock. I'm gonna sit right there and we're gonna do a 5-minute meditation. If you don't wanna meditate, no big deal. Hopefully you can just enjoy the sights and the sounds out here in the woods. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me for another mindful adventure in the Blue Ridge Mountains. That was an epic journey to get to the top of this mountain, but it was well worth it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed your meditation spot for today. I'm gonna get out here every single week, explore cool places, find spots to sit down and relax and be present out here in nature, have a little meditation session. Everybody out there knows how YouTube works. Subscribe for weekly adventures, smash the like button, and I love to hear people's comments below. Get out there and explore. Enjoy the day.